on the four lenses of fat loss. The whole idea of this thing is about how can I engineer peaceful and enjoyable and systems like uh, fat loss that is not stressful, fat loss that is um, not fun, and fat loss that is predictable and anti-fragile. Like, these are the words I want to keep in mind when I'm putting together a plan for fat loss. Okay, so the four lenses of fat loss, okay, which are, and actually, let's see if we should be able to pull that up. How would we do that? All right. The four lenses of fat loss, we will go high enjoyment, low calorie density. So, for example, fruits and vegetables and lean proteins are low calorie density. A Twix bar or a Snickers bar is extreme high density, calorie wise. And then convenient. So I call this the four C's. I know there's a lot of names and keywords and whatnot, but it's important because this simplifies things. Convenient to cook, clean, and consume. So it has to be easy, okay, and it has to be convenient. And then lastly, easy to track, meaning it has less than 5 ingredients, okay. Because sometimes you see these recipes and there's like 30 ingredients and 30 steps, and you're like, all right, well, I'm not gonna do that. So if you go look at how you're eating through the four lenses, then fat loss will become effortless. Okay, so now with the four lenses, what happens is when you start to put together foods in this way, then the last piece of the puzzle that we want to add to this is we want it to be high in protein. We want to get a lot of our protein in those foods. And so when we add that fifth criteria, which is high protein, then we get is a keystone food. Okay, so that's, again, like, that's where the burrito diet comes from. The burritos were one of my major keystone foods. High in protein, they're high in enjoyment, they're low in calorie density, they're convenient to cook, clean, and consume, and then finally they're easy to track, less than 5 ingredients. Okay, so now what I take somebody through is like, so you find your favorite foods that you really enjoy, right? And so you do, so let's say, like, I'll take my example, right? I like burritos. I like to eat burritos every day. And so what I would do is, like, how can I get my burritos to hit all four lenses and be high in protein? Well, that is very simple. I have a ton of videos on it. I have a ton of recipes on it. Like, and actually, you could go on YouTube or Instagram and just search for high protein burritos, and you'll find a bunch. One thing that I think a lot of those recipes do miss is that they don't hit the convenience factor as much as I like, or the easy to track factor as much as I like. Some of them have too many steps, they have many ingredients, so I'm like, in my opinion, the best burrito is always very simple. You get a quality meat, a protein, you get a good salsa. I know not everybody has Mexican in-laws like myself, but you can get it. And then if you would like, you could put some rice in there, you could put some potatoes in there, but that's about it. And so that makes it hit. When you make those burritos yourself, it hits the first two things perfectly. High enjoyment, low calorie density. So I'm going to keep this video short. I just want to explain this concept of the 4 lenses of fat loss, and also like I'll give you like 1 or 2 more examples of how you would turn a common favorite food into a keystone food. So let's say you love cheeseburgers and you love fries. All right, cool. That's an easy one. You buy lean ground beef, 93.7, or if you can get it, 96.4, and you cook up your patties. There's your protein right there. And then you get a lower calorie bun. Pretty simple. And in reality, like if you structure it properly, you could have a regular bun, right? I like the rainbow bread buns, classic American bun. I know some people will be like, oh, well, it's processed, it's not blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, that's fine. I like the taste. If you want, you could get the super organic ones too. There's many options. You could have 2-3 cheeseburgers every day and lose all the fat you want, right? Get yourself some preferably low-fat cheese, because it'll save just your total food for the day and make sure it all fits in there. And for the fries, same thing. Like there's a lot of frozen fries you could buy that are lower in calories, that basically they have less fat calories, and there you go. Throw them in an air fryer and you could have cheeseburgers and fries every day and lose all the fat you want. There's your keystone food. Okay. Then we'll do one more example of pizza, because I've had many clients who, for their keystone food, they chose pizza, and they ate pizza every day and they lost all the weight they wanted to. Similarly, like you buy a tortilla, you buy your sauce, you buy your vegetables, same way as you would on a regular pizza. The big difference here is, since you're using tortillas for the bread, the calories go way down. And if you use fat-free cheese, that like the zero fat mozzarella or sharp cheddar or whatever, those are straight protein. So once again, you've hit the high protein criteria, and now you have another keystone food. And those pizzas take, and I have videos about that too somewhere on the channel, but those pizzas take 5 minutes to make, including throwing them in the air fryer, and boom, you could have 2 or 3 tortilla-sized pizzas every day and lose all the fat you want. Now, last thing I'll say is like, okay, well, what do you fill in around that? Well, you have several options here. One thing that I would fill in is all the healthy stuff, right? This is where you're gonna get your vitamins and minerals. So I would throw in lots of berries, lots of like, and this is my own personal preference. I like berries, pomegranate seeds, etc. So now I'm getting all my vitamins and minerals and fiber, and they're delicious and they're very filling. Like I was at Walmart picking up a bunch of stuff, and I grabbed one of the smaller frozen blueberry bags, and I'm going to eat the whole thing, and it's delicious. Plus all the health benefits, like I'm saying. And the last piece of this is your quadrant 2 foods. Quadrant 2 foods are high in calorie density and high in enjoyment. Okay, so now let's say you really love donuts. Well, now every morning you're going to have a donut with your coffee, and you're going to fit it in to your daily calories. Let's say you're Punjabi like me and you drink cha every night, and you have to have something sweet with your cha. Guess what? You fit that in the evening. And if you have your keystone food set up properly, you should have more than enough room every day to do so. Like I've lost, every time I've cut, like, you know, I've eaten a donut every morning and like 4 Oreos every night with my cha. So like it is possible, and it's a much more relaxed way of doing this stuff. So yeah, that's all for now, because this is getting a little bit longer. If you have questions, send me a DM on here or comments.